Hi friends, this is CC and welcome to Hobby Hands. In this vlog, we're going to turn this into this. Yes, we're going to build the Italeri 1/72nd scale MH-53E, and that's a Sea Dragon. Really excited. This is going to be a very big model and a big build, so let's get started. As you can see, it's a very large model for 1/72nd scale, and there's 7 rotor blades. Right, let's start. First thing we're going to do is to build the interior of the helicopter. We're going to paint and build this and then seal it inside the helicopter, and the interior parts have got to be all done first. And we most likely reach up to this stage here to complete the interior of the heli. So there's the cockpit parts and everything. Right, let's start. There's the cockpit floor. Some of the interior parts. Alright, the parts have been cleaned up, so we're going to start painting the interior of the helicopter. There's actually quite a bit of detail on the interior of the helicopter, so we'll paint that. Lots of little lines which hopefully will come up with the wash. So what I'm doing now is painting the parts which are white, like the wheels, some of the interior parts, the interior is in some sort of a light grey. After painting, I coat it with some gloss clear. Now the next thing we're going to do is to put wash through all the pieces. These are the cockpit pieces, like the seats. I painted and given it a gloss clear, and I'm putting the wash in. To bring out all the tiny details. Next thing I'm going to do is clean up the wash with a cotton bud and some thinner. So what it does is it starts to pick up the lines and the details. Alright, next step I'm going to do is give it a white highlight with a dry brush. It's probably the most effective way. Alright, all done. Now the next thing we're doing is to give all the parts a flat clear spray. At this stage what we're going to do is dip all the clear parts into a flow polish to make it look like glass. So dip it in, shake off the excess, and then blot out the bits of excess clear with a kitchen towel. And what I'm painting now is the interior engine fan. So firstly black, let it dry. So the next thing we're going to do is to use a highlight pencil and put in some highlights for that light and shadow effect. Picks out all the details nicely. fluid a bit of this on the inside of the aircraft to pick up the lines as well, slightly. Alright, back to the engine fan, and the next thing we're going to do is give it a dry brush of metallic grey, and lastly a dry brush with silver to pick out all the details. Now what we're going to do is assemble the cockpit area. We've got the seats, all the little joysticks and all that. Now the cockpit has been assembled, and the interior of the heli, like the floor, we'll let it dry now, and we try and build the other little bits and pieces. The first thing we're going to do is that bit there, and this is for the main rotor blade. Side. Now this bit here is actually, it's got a window cut out, but it's actually a solid piece, so just pay attention to that one. And now we can start assembling the clear pieces for the windows. Perfect. Yeah, we'll do all the rest of the windows as well. There you can see all the interior is done. Window pieces have gone in, and I've painted some interior lights, both sides of the fuselage. Just wait for all the glue and the paint to dry. At this stage I'm going to show you that if you look at this diagram, there's the heli there. You can see that there's the wheels. So from the wheel to the back of the heli, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of heli compared to the wheel to the front. And the tail is a big tail, rotor and the stabilizer. Looks like it's going to be pretty tail heavy. So what we're going to do is put some weights in the front of the heli. So this is what we're going to use. It's actually a blister pack from Pill. We're filling it up with weights or ballast and quick super glue. And we're just going to assemble the cockpit parts or the cockpit floor. What we're going to do here is put in some putty to hide the seam lines or to hide the joint lines for these pieces, which are actually the engine exhaust. is glue in the fan into the exhaust. Like that. And then we're going to put the exhaust into the heli. Like that. Alright, so next thing we're going to do is assemble the cockpit floor to the heli. So it's a bit fiddly because it's a big piece. So now we're going to try and put the two halves of the heli together now, like that. We'll put the weights in, a bit of blue tack so that it doesn't roll around, and let's put glue on the fuselage half. And then we'll hold the two halves together with some masking tape. Also assemble all of these parts together, the horizontal stabilizer and the sponsons for the wheels. So now the fuselage is basically assembled. So what I need to do here is fill the gaps here where the two pieces join together, and we'll use putty. There we go. Is now dry, so we're going to try and sand the putty smooth. So like these parts here. So once I sand it down, the joints will not be visible. And there as well. So in this one, I'm going to use a wet sanding. So just dip your sanding sticks into some water. 4 grits there, 600 to start with, and then 800, 2000, and finally a 6000 very fine grit to get it smooth. step, we're gonna stick the front clear piece or the canopy. It needs to go on like this. There might be a bit of gaps. Like that, done. Just let it dry. And we'll come back and do the next part. So we're about ready to paint, and I'm going to mask off all the windows and probably mask off the door here as well so that the spray doesn't go in. So here we go with the masking. Start with this window down here. With a toothpick. Make sure there's not too many bubbles. And then a sharp blade to remove the parts of masking that we don't need. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is spray on an interior grey color onto the frames of the canopy. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm only spraying the front of the heli. Alright, now we spray the rest of the heli in a white color per the paint scheme. So the paint scheme I'm going to use is a white on top and a light grey at the bottom, which is the Japanese version. So this is the paint scheme that I'm going to use. It's a Japanese two-tone, so white on top and then grey at the bottom. So what I'm gonna do is mask the top half of the fuselage, and as well we need to mask off the sponsons, something like that. Let's do that now. Up, and now I'm painting on the grey color on the bottom of the heli. Alright, now that it's all done, what I'm doing is giving the whole heli and parts a coat or two of clear gloss. Okay, now we're all done with the glossing of the aircraft, as you can see. So the main masking has come off, and so the next thing we're going to do is do the panel lines and the decals next. So for the white areas, I'm going to use a grey wash like that. Sort of grill areas as well will benefit from a wash. It makes it alive, like that. Alright, all done with the wash. So it's time to clean up all these splodges. As you can see, there's quite a few around. What I do is use thinner with a cotton bud, dipped into the thinner, and just clean up like that. Straight away you can see that the panel lines are nice and straight and very delicate. Alright, the panel lines have all been cleaned now. So what we do next is put decals on the aircraft. I'm doing the Japanese version. So those bits here and this bit up here. All the decals have gone on. What I'm doing is giving the aircraft another coat of gloss clear to protect the decals. Next step we're doing here is to give the whole aircraft a coat or two of flat clear, because I like a very flat finish on my models. Alright, now we're pretty much done with the spraying, so we're gonna now put the bits and pieces together, like the intakes. And the exhaust. tricky part. Alright, all done with the engine parts. Just gluing on the wheels onto the landing gears. This one is the landing gear cover, or landing gear door. Next thing we're going to do is glue the tail rotor together. Rotor blade. Also gonna glue the horizontal stabilizer. As you can see, the heli is actually finished. It's all done. So the last thing we need to do is to remove the masking tape for the windows. Let's do that now. MH-53 is complete. Window masks have been removed. See on the side of the heli. It's actually quite a big heli. Let's fit the main rotor on now. I'm not going to glue it on because I might need to store it without the rotor blade, so I'll put the rotor blade separately and the heli separately. Look at that. It fits beautifully. show you that the tail rotor spins as well. Always free to move. And there you go. And that's the main rotor turning. Overall thoughts. Nice model to build, but one very confusing part, which was the engine part. This part here, can't quite figure out where or how the thing fits, but in the end it's alright. So you can see that there's two tones there. There's white and there's a grey at the bottom, but it's pretty close actually, the two colors. It's a Japanese CH-53. So lucky I put some weights in there so it doesn't sit on its tail. Pretty much it, there you go. It does look quite nice. And I like doing this. Okay, so what I want to show you is quickly how big the CH-53 is compared to the Huey down here. See how big the CH-53 is compared to the Huey, and they're in the same scale. Okay, that's how big it is. Hope you enjoyed watching that vlog. Please subscribe to my channel and please give me a like. Thank you very much for watching.